Joining us now is Vincent, and we're going to be talking about National EAP. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Good. What is National EAP? What do you do, Vincent?
So National EAP stands for Employee Assistance Program. We're a nationwide short-term counseling and wellness services for employers to provide to their employees and their family members.
Beautiful. So it's a pass-through. So it's a service, like sometimes people like outsource accounting, but this is outsourced to your company and you're providing services to employees.
Correct. So we'll connect with leaders, C-suite executives, HR departments to then help their employees with issues that they may face in the workforce or at home that they bring to the workforce, into their workplace, and assist them and get them through them to be the best version of themselves and therefore more productive for their companies.
Wonderful. I saw some PDFs about the different programs and how it's all organized and aligned. Can you walk us through some maybe typical things that you see? Like what are some of the things that you help?
Sure. Well, we help, we do it two ways, right? We'll help the employee with any issues that they may be facing and or their family members, and we'll help them with short-term counseling sessions or financial assistance, legal assistance, and then we'll also help the organization with assistance from an HR perspective and assist them with any situation that may be occurring between employees or with an employee. And again, always the intention is to get that employee back to being the most productive person and most valuable part of that company and back to whom they were, because obviously they were going through something that impacted their daily routine in the office of being a impactful employee.
You know that old wives' tale where it says a stitch in time saves nine, right? Is it kind of like that?
It is.
Before something kind of unravels, EAP, National EAP is there already at the fingertips, right? To be able to help.
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly.
What do you love best about your job?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. What I love best is that we get to help employees, their family members, and even the employer allow people to handle their situation or the issue that they may be facing, whether it be personal or in the workplace, and get back to them being the most productive person that they can be, and then stay a part of their company, be retained. It then helps the HR department and the company in general not have to go out and have to hire, which could cost much more than it is to utilize EAP and fix. So I think that's the best thing, is that we get to help people be the best version of themselves and the most productive version as well.
And as an employer, sometimes, you know, it's important, like you build a culture and a reputation, and there's a way that you're building your business, and you rely on the people that work for you, because you're nothing without the people that work for you, right? I'm nothing without my team, like absolutely nothing. And if I were to lose one of them, it would really hurt my business and it would really impact me, right? So the idea is to retain that employee, to figure out what's wrong and to like see if you can correct and fix it, right? The other thing too is when somebody's going through a hard time, the last thing they need is to be fired and lose their job. The absolute last thing they need, right? So sometimes there are outside influences that we bring into the workplace that, you know, could cost you your job, and it's just that understanding. So I guess you guys are the go-between between all that.
We certainly are.
Okay, so how do people onboard with you? How does it work? So let's say I'm an employee and I'm having an issue at a certain company, but they have a contract with National EAP. So how do I as an employee benefit? What do I do?
Sure. So we have clients that are nationwide. We're a nationwide company, although we're headquartered here on Long Island. How it would work is, being that you, the employer, are providing our services to your employees, we do a really good job as a team to get that word out to all the employees and how to access us, right?
Okay.
Which can be through a number of ways. It can be by phone, it could be by email, it can be by chat, and then that employee, in your case it would be you'd be reaching out to us. Our clinician team is absolutely outstanding. They would do an intake. From that intake, we would then see what your needs are, and based on that intake, then recommend the best course of action for what the situation is that needs to be handled and how we would go about that. And what I love about us, again, you asked before, what makes me want to come to work, and is that our company is very compassionate, empathetic. I work with a phenomenal group of warm and people that really want to give back and do good to help others be the best version of themselves. And for me, in my respective role, it's about being able to create and customize exactly what's going to work for that employer to provide what's best for their employees and their families. I don't want to miss that part, is that we not only help the employees, it's extended to everybody within that employee's household.
So if, for instance, you're an employee and your child's having a substance abuse issue at home and it's affecting you, you're coming into work and you haven't slept all night and you're exhausted, right? You can help that employee as well as help that child.
Correct.
Wonderful. That's awesome. How does an employer engage with your company? How do they sign on? What's the onboarding process?
Sure. So first of all, they obviously reach out to myself, our business development team, our client success team, our clinician team. They would inquire with us. We would obviously do a consultation to see what program we would want to customize and build for them. We would then obviously review that program with them, see if it is exactly what they're looking for, what they're looking to spend. And then once they come on board, it takes 30 days to implement. All their employees would have access. And then we begin a robust relationship and what we'd say is a true partnership to make sure that their employees are fully aware of who we are, what we provide, and how we can be there 24/7, 365 days a year to be at their call for any assistance that they need. Again, whether it be related to mental health, financial concerns, legal concerns, housing, etc.
Interesting. Without naming names, can you think of a success story? Like what the situation was, what your objective was, the action that you took, and then the result?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, we get a lot of employees that give us great referrals. We don't obviously utilize their names or the company's name, but I think the greatest story that we get is when we provide our utilization reports, which we provide to every company at the beginning of each quarter, is we also get survey feedback from their employees on how we've impacted and how we've helped them. I think the best one for me is when they've gone through a situation and there was something that, again, they brought from home that was impacting their work and got them back on track, and to hear how our clinician team was very compassionate and warm and helped them to really get back on track to be the best version, the most productive version of themselves, so they can keep their job and not have to worry about that in addition to worrying about the situation or what was occurring in their life personally, mental health wise, et cetera, that's affecting them on a day in and day out basis in the workplace.
So it's an HR benefit that certain employers are able to offer to their employees.
Yes.
And do you have a sliding scale? So if you have a small company and you only have 10 employees, right, compared to 7,000 or 70 or 90,000 employees, right? Is it based upon that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So even if you're somewhat of a small company, you could still work with your company.
We are able to work with companies of any size, whether it be a for-profit or not-for-profit. Again, we're nationwide. We've actually onboarded some companies in late 2024 that have a small footprint in the United States and a larger footprint in Europe and other countries around the world.
Okay.
So with that, how we base it on is, it is based on the number of employees you have. We've worked with companies as small as 2 employees to as many employees as 10,000 employees.
Okay.
So how the scale would work is it really based on the number of employees you have, and then we would scale it based on the customized program that we would put together in a consultation meeting that we would do virtually or in person, depending on how the conversation went through the process.
So it's part of your employee benefits program, which is lovely, and it's putting people first. That's what it's really about, right?
Yes.
Not profits first, people first.
Correct.
Makes sense to me. I thank you for being here. You're also part of a group that I'm part of, which is the Long Island Philanthropy Network.
Yes.
Right? How does that work? What is your involvement with them?
So our involvement as a company is to have our employees, their family members, their friends, give back to the Long Island community and be able to connect with a number of different non-for-profit organizations, helping with community service events that take place in the work time during the day or in the evening. We've had a great relationship. We've been one of the early members to be a part of Philanthropy Network New York. We're looking forward to what 2025 has to offer. There's an event upcoming in January that we'll be a part of with the book fairies. And then we look forward to what's planned for the rest of the calendar year, and we plan to be a part of every single one of those.
Super fun. Even here in this exact same television studio, they packed 1,000 bags for children that were in the hospital during the holidays for St. Nick's, and that was all done through that group.
Yes.
Wonderful. They had like a hot cocoa bar here. It was like a lot of fun. Different business owners came, and they were just packing bags.
Yep.
It was
And we
lovely.
were here, and we had a great experience, and we thank you for hosting us and hosting the event.
Not about me, but thank you for shining the light on me. It was really, really cool, and one of the nicest things that I did as a company during the holidays. So thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Make a difference in your community. Put your people first if you're a business owner. I try every day to put them first because without them, I'm nothing. And happy journeys to you. Be well.